These covers remind me of the game of Dejarik, I believe is the way you pronounce it, from the Star Wars films, where, the ones, Chewbacca's playing, and another little figure picks up another one, rips his arms off, and throws him down on the field. Except, there's magic going on. You have little, maybe it's a bishop or a dark bishop or something like that. But yeah, those were always very evocative when I was a kid. I always wanted to have a game like that, play a game like that. And I have a Lord of the Rings chess set upstairs, which is probably the closest I'm ever going to get to, seeing something like this. But I need to incorporate, a room like this or an encounter like this in some sort of upcoming campaign. I believe it's just it's something I want to have done. The first two words that come to mind when I look at this cover are Wizard's Chess. It just seems like they're duking it out, a battle of the ages. Who's going to win, what's going to happen. I also like the round chessboard there, something different. And then you sort of look and you're like, oh, wait a minute. In the background, there's more chess pieces. So it's almost like a game within a game. We got one more chess cover, and I like the round board, the sort of strange angles that everything is at. And then you have that creepy ass thing hanging from the ceiling with a brain and some sort of viscous fluid and moving all the pieces. Yeah, this might be one of probably the favorite one that I have of all the chess covers. It just looks pretty creepy. This cover for Gygax magazine was actually done with the same artist that has done these other chess ones that I've been showing. And there's a little different style to it, probably a little bit more polished perhaps. I think I actually prefer the less polished, more like traditional looking artwork when it comes to fantasy, but I wanted to include this one just to sort of show the ending, I guess, of those covers and the final result. This one's almost photorealistic with that little boy there. And it's interesting too, since I've become a father, some things when you see them before you have life experiences, they don't really affect you all that much. Then, things change and you look back at something like a movie or read a book, and there's another layer to it, a little extra creepiness factor. So when I see this kid here, I'm thinking about my son Wes. I'm like, oh yeah, this like creepy dude in the back is, having this weird sort of spherical orb maybe try to take him over. But then you kind of flip it on its head. It's like, well, wait a minute. His finger's on the table, and maybe the energy is coming from the boy. Maybe he has some sort of knack or talent to be able to access this power, and that dark shadowy figure in the back there wants to exploit him or, pull the strings and make him do things. Maybe he's a ruler, a prince or something like that. So yeah, very cool cover. This cover might surprise you that I picked it, perhaps. At first look, it's like, it's just kind of like a scene on the sea, but the more you look at it, it's just like kind of dark, and I think it's mythological. Like, there's obviously the face in the sky, so it kind of implies godhood. But maybe there's something going on with this woman here. Maybe she's the goddess of lost sailors. Maybe she calms the waves that maybe the other god wants to wreak havoc with, to kill those sailors that are coming back in. It's kind of dark and moody, and I think it just implies like sadness, loss. You could probably put all kinds of psychological things on that, but I like the scene there, the kind of like the sadness of the ocean, of the waters that Tolkien wrote a lot about. It's just yeah. This is another one of those sort of covers that you might not pick right off the bat as one of your favorites, but the more you look at it, you just kind of wonder who this person is, who this character is, what's their association with the dragon and that sword that they're holding on to. Is that driftwood? Is that water in the background? What is all that? So it's very, it just makes you think, I guess, what is going on in this picture. And I like pictures that make me think. I believe that this is one of the magazine covers that DravenSwiftbow picked, and for good reason. Look at the teeth on that thing. I actually drew that on a UPS, what was it, like a supervisor clipboard, I believe, and a lot of my fellow supervisors are kind of wondering what it was and where it was from. Thought it was kind of weird, but it entertained me for one evening to doodle that guy up. But yeah, he's on a boat, and he's got that spear. It's just a cool thing. You think he's gonna tip the boat over, with that big swing he's gonna do and knock the guy out of the boat. Yeah, it's a great cover. Sadly, this is one of the Dragon magazines that I have where the cover has slipped off. The staples have gone through the paper there, the cover. But it's really cool. I always pictured that bard, that person playing the harp there, as being imprisoned for the entertainment value of the dragon. And the dragon itself is sort of strangely drawn. Your eye goes right towards its eye, but there's something weird about the nose and like the line in the middle of its head. And then as you look at it, you're like, well, is that a dragon? Maybe that's a end of a snake. You can see the claws. And yeah, it's just a cool cover. I like the light reflecting off the scales. Yeah, it's one of my more favorite dragon covers. We'll get to the next one. There's only one other dragon illustration that tops this one, and that's the cover of the 1991 black box edition of Dungeons and Dragons. And that's probably because of nostalgia reasons, but it's also because of just the way the dragon is drawn. But to look at this one, it looks dark, menacing, powerful. If you would come across that, you'd be terrified. It's just, you can tell how large it is by the proportions of the treasure there and the cave behind it. Yeah, it's just a awesome looking dragon. These aren't really in any order, as I probably should have said earlier in the video. But thanks for checking these out. It was fun to kind of go through all my magazines that sadly I don't really look through as much as I should. I really need to go through there and just find out, which articles are really good, which ones are kind of and try to glean some information. I have a wealth of RPG stuff upstairs that I don't spend enough time on. But this was one way for me to go through and at least use these invaluable resources that I have to some degree. All right, I'll talk to everyone later. Thanks.